Hey everyone! So I wanted to do an updated foundation routine because I told you guys in my Trish McEvoy favorites video that I would be showing you how to use a treatment foundation because it's a lot different from what I normally use. So I wanted to show you guys a couple of things from her as well as some of my favorite stuff I've been using recently. So it's my new foundation routine. This is usually what I do when I'm going to work or you know, going to church or I don't know, something where I want to have a little bit more fuller coverage, look a little bit more presentable. But I am going to do quite light today just because I'm not going to be going anywhere too formal, but normally I would do it pretty fuller coverage. So today I'm going to kind of tone it down, so it's still going to be full, but it's not going to look full. So it's kind of deceiving the eye, making it look like, you know, you're not wearing very much makeup, which I think everybody wants to do. So I'm going to show you how to do that, so let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is prime my face with the Trish McEvoy Enriched Primer. This is an anti-fatigue cream as well as a mask, which is really cool. It's recommended for normal to dry skin. I have combo to oily skin, normal to oily skin sort of. So I do get a little bit of dry around my mouth area, but that's pretty much the only place I get dry. But this stuff works amazingly on anything. I'm going to put this on with my buffing brush. This is the Real Techniques by Samantha Chapman. So I'm going to take some of this and just kind of work it into my skin. I love the bristles on this brush. It's really smooth and soft. So I'm just going to work this into my skin. Alright, so there you go. There's the primer, nice and primed and hydrated. And this helps my makeup stay on a lot longer. Sorry, you can hear my bird screaming. She's really loud. One day I'll show you guys what she looks like, but she's an orange-winged Amazon bird, and she screams a lot because she likes attention. Alright, so we can move on to the foundation once my skin's primed. So while I like to let this sit on my skin a little bit more, the Trish McEvoy method is to put your face products on, like, you know, lotions, moisturizers, primers first, and then start doing your eyeshadow. But since this is just my foundation routine, I'm just going to put on the Essential Eye Base by Trish McEvoy. This is in the color Bare. It's a great primer for oily lids, and also it's kind of, I like to think of it as like, I put a little bit on the back of my hand. I like to think of it as a concealer for your eyes in a way, because my eyelids are quite oily and I have quite thin, well, almost everyone has thin layers of skin on their eyes, so most of the time you can see the veins on their lids. But it's just really nice. So while I'm doing this, my primer will start settling into my skin. I always like to make sure to get in the inner corners here. We call that the danger zone at Trish McEvoy. So you can see how awake my eyes look by putting a little bit of that eye essential base on. So now I'm going to put my foundation, which is the Trish McEvoy Treatment Foundation. This is in the shade Golden Beige. This has an SPF 15 in it, so it's really nice. It enhances, restores, and protects, which I think is really important. So yeah, I do have a good amount of scarring still. The overall tone and clarity of my skin has cleared up a bit, but my scars are still present, and I do have a couple blemishes, so this is going to help with that. So I'm going to put some on the back of my hand, just about one pump. I always want to start small. Get some on my buffing brush and just start working this into my skin. So I'm just going over it. I want it to look really natural, so I'm really buffing it into my skin. I don't want to have any foundation visible. I just want it to look really natural. And like I said, this foundation does set satin, so it does have a satin finish. So it's not going to look matte. It's going to look quite dewy. Well, not necessarily dewy, but satin finishes just, I don't know how to explain it. They kind of just have a sheen to them, but not drastically. Alright, so there's the foundation. As you can see, it's covered a good amount of my scarring. but it kept my skin to still look really natural. It leaves that kind of natural glow to your skin. Now we can move on to lightening the skin. Just because I still have a lot of pigmentation around my mouth and around my cheek area, I like to lighten those places up a lot. So this is the Trish McEvoy Correct and Brighten. There's a name for you. This is in the shade 1. And I'm just going to pop this in the areas where I want a little more brightness, where I feel like it's not, so just about there. This is where I like my skin to be quite luminous. And then you can just start buffing it out. Just because I like this center of my face to look a lot more highlighted. Now we can move on to concealing. I'm just going to take this brush here, which is really nice. This is the actual foundation brush, but I actually do like it for concealing. So I'm just going to take this a little, I'm using my Laura Mercier concealer. This is in the shade SC3. This is a great concealer because it comes with 2 shades, so you're able to choose whatever color, a warm shade and a cool shade, so I like that. I'm going to take a little bit onto my brush and just kind of put it wherever I need a little bit more coverage. So mainly here on these areas. And I'm just kind of working it into the skin. I do have a little blemish here. Alright, so now we can conceal underneath the eyes. I'm taking the same concealer, the same foundation brush, and just using this to work my brush into the product. I'm just going to pat this on first. Then take my finger and just begin to pat it along. I hope this lighting is good. I did change it a bit. Previously I just used like about 3 lamps, and now I'm using 3 lamps and natural light, so hopefully that's better. Alright, so there you go. There's that. I'm just going to just buff a little bit of this stuff out. I don't want any harsh lines. Alright, so my face is nice and concealed and covered. It still looks quite, the finish of the makeup is quite natural, so it doesn't look like a lot of coverage. Especially using that buffing brush, you can really work it into your skin. If you haven't purchased or seen this Matha Champion Real Techniques brushes, they are amazing. For 15 bucks you get 4 brushes. I got the face ones and I think they're amazing. They're great brushes. They work beautifully on your skin, and for the price it's worth it. So next we're going to move on to contouring. I'm going to be using my Chanel Bronze Universal just because it's a cream product and I love it. It lasts really long. And there it is for you. The brush I'm going to be using this is the contour brush. So I'm just going to get a little bit of that into my brush. Take a little bit on the back of my hand just because I don't want it to look too obvious. And I'm just going to kind of work this into my hollows and just continue to just do little circles and buff it into my skin. The key to looking, you know, having a fuller coverage but still looking quite natural is really working the products into your skin. And then once I've left over, I'm just going to run it over my cheeks just to give a little color. Alright, so there you go. There's my contouring. I love this bronzer. It's a great bronzer if you want to look natural. It's Soleil Tan de Chanel. It's Bronze Universal, that's what I call it. It's kind of easier saying all that stuff. So if you feel like you want to buff a little bit more, you can just go over with your brush and just kind of make sure everything's nice and covered. So now I'm going to set my foundation. This is the Make It Forever HD finishing powder. This is a really nice setting powder. It's really nicely milled. I do quite like the Trish McEvoy finishing powder, but I didn't get that, so because I have this, so it's basically the same thing. So I'm taking that to my big 150. Just tap off whatever is left over. Just kind of press this into the skin. And I'm going to concentrate it mainly around the areas you wouldn't want any shine. So that's basically my T-zone. And then of course down the neck, because you don't want to look shiny there. And then whatever's left over, just kind of roughly press it into the skin. Alright, so that's it. I hope you enjoyed that. That is my updated foundation routine using Trish McEvoy and Chanel Make Up For Laura Mercier. That is my foundation routine for day to day. I like it because it lasts very long. The primer works amazingly. And it doesn't look heavy. I can still touch and move my face. I don't feel like it's going to come off or anything. It's nice and malleable. And previously, sometimes the Make Up Forever foundation can kind of move a little bit, and sometimes it does tend to transfer if you touch your face a lot. So now I can actually, you know, move my face without having to worry about, you know, makeup getting all over stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed that and had a great time watching. I always like to put a little bit of lip balm. This is the EOS lip balm. This one is in honeydew or honeysuckle. Tastes good too. But it just keeps the lips hydrated and it's nice. So you could go out like this. This is a nice natural makeup. You really don't need very much. Maybe a little bit of blush and some mascara and you're good to go. But I'm going to do a makeup tutorial next, so stay tuned for that. I'm not sure what I'm doing. Might be doing my daily routine because that might be pretty cool. So hope you enjoyed and had a great time watching, guys. Bye!